Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Really appreciate you making the time. For anyone I haven't met, my name is Grant Dyer, and I lead our customer success team here at Orah. Our team owns the onboarding, ongoing enablement and adoption and support. Basically, everything that happens after you've partnered with us to make sure you're getting the real outcome of the platform. Today's session is a really cool one, really practical. It's medication management. So we're going to show you through the setup and safe administration of the new module. The goal is to make sure you leave with a clear step-by-step understanding of how to configure the module in a way that kind of fits your on-the-ground process and how to use it confidently today to support safe, consistent medication administration. So a little bit of context about why we're running this. We've heard from a lot of schools that medication workflows are one of those areas where almost working isn't good enough. It needs to be really clear, auditable, and easy for teams to follow, especially when you have shift changes, multiple staff involved. This webinar is part of how customer success supports you beyond the initial rollout. We'll do targeted training sessions like this to help you strengthen specific workflows and get more value out of Orah. So with that, I will pass this over to Emily Duroche, who is one of our customer success managers who will be running the webinar today. We also with us have Zohab and Ram, who are part of our onboarding team, and Alexis, who is another one of our customer success managers. So take it away, Emily.
Thanks, Grant, and thanks for that introduction, really setting the scene for what we expect from today. It will be a 45-minute session today with about 15 minutes at the end for Q&A. And I see a lot of familiar names on the call today. So great to see so many people joining us. Good morning or good afternoon or good middle of the night, potentially, depending on where you're calling in from. Or hello if you're watching the recording. It is great to have you tuning in. So the session today is really for anyone who could be involved with medication management. So health center teams, boarding staff, admins and IT who will be helping to set up the back end and provide access. The goal, as Grant said, is really to provide training today, this initial training to get you started. And then, of course, we're around as well as our support desk to help out with anything that comes next. So we'll start off just by talking a little bit about why medication management matters, what led us to develop this tool, and kind of an overarching view on exactly what it contains. Then I'll pass it over to Z, who will do live training and a demo. And then we'll spend, like I said, the rest of the time with a dedicated Q&A. When we talk to schools about medication, we hear a consistent theme. The stakes are really high, the environment is busy, and the systems are often pieced together. Maybe it's a binder, maybe it's a spreadsheet updated between shifts, sticky notes, handoffs, a pastoral note in Orah. We know that's something that a lot of schools use to keep track of when medications are administered. And that can work until it doesn't. For instance, let's say a student shows up during shift change and there's a line at the door, or a student with a necessary daily prescription forgets to drop in and it's so busy and staff don't catch it. It's easy for things to fall through the cracks, and it's critical that they don't. It's a matter of safety, compliance, and trust with families. And that's the gap that we built the Orah medication management module to solve, bringing structured, safety-first workflows into the day-to-day reality of school life without adding more administrative burden. It's not only about logging a dose, it's about making sure that the right student receives the right medication in the right amount at the right time with the right context. It's about ensuring the school can confidently answer questions like what was given, who gave it, when was it given, what changed afterward, and are we running low on stock? So instead of isolated logs and manual reconciliation, we built one connected workflow that ties together the medication catalog, prescriptions, over-the-counter inventory, and administration records all in one place. And when a school adopts the medication management module, the goal is very simple: to make medication administration safer and easier every day. There's 4 outcomes that we aim for. The first is safety first administration. We want to reduce missed steps and avoidable errors by giving staff a consistent workflow each time. The module brings student context forward, supports warnings, and makes administration feel like a guided safety process. It's not an informal checkbox. Second is audit ready records. Schools should always be able to see who administered what, when, and what changed afterward. The module is designed to preserve full history, so records are complete and defensible without needing to do any extra work to prepare for audits. The third is less operational overhead. This is a big one. The goal is fewer paper logs, fewer spreadsheets, fewer risky handoffs between staff and shifts. And when the workflow is centralized, staff spend less time tracking things down and more time actually getting to care for students. And the last is better visibility. At a glance, staff should be able to see what's due, what's overdue, and what's running low. That visibility reduces last-minute surprises and helps schools stay productive. Oh, there we go. And so what does that look like in practice? First, the module starts with a medication catalog. You can think of this like the single source of truth where the school defines medications once with consistent details, names, types, units, strengths, and directions. Validation rules keep the catalog clean because everything downstream, everything that you do next in the medication module depends on that catalog. Next, for over-the-counter medications, we support inventory tracking, a live medicine cabinet view where stock updates and administration adjust counts, where staff can see low and out of stock indicators, and that means fewer surprises, fewer "I thought we had more of this" moments. Then there's prescriptions, where the school manages prescription-only medications, schedules, and workflows. Active prescriptions are organized by overdue and upcoming and support daily, multi-dose, and custom schedules. And then finally, the dispensary, the day-to-day operational view where schools record administrations and review a chronological log. Edits are tracked with full history for compliance and for accountability. We can also see the history from the individual student account in terms of history of prescriptions and history of administrations. The goal is not to add complexity, it's to reduce risk, reduce overhead, and increase confidence. Because when medication management is structured, when it's visible, it's fully traceable, the outcome is simple. Staff feel supported, leadership has clarity, and students are safer. So to show what this looks like day to day, I'm going to hand it over to Zohaib, who will walk through the module and share best practices for setup and training so that your team can roll it out with confidence.
Wonderful. Thank you, Emily. Let me share my screen with all of you, and hello to everyone. Okay, wonderful. All right. So let's just assume that I'm a part of your team. I'm not from Orah, and we've just recently got this new product that everybody says that it's easy to manage my medication and everything that I do in the health center. So as soon as I have that available on my Orah account, I just want to be able to kind of give these medicines as easy, as simple, and as quick as possible. So what do? I'm here. I go to student care. I see something that says medication. Okay, let me open that up. It shows me dispensary, prescription, and all of the other options that we will look into. But I just want to give a medication to some student that has just come to my desk right now. I'll click on administer medication. I'll see a list of all the different students that we have available in here. So I'll say, yeah, Adam Norton is a student that has come to me. Is it an OTC, like an over-the-counter medication that I want to give them? Or is it a prescribed medication that has been prescribed to them by a doctor through their parent? He's just here to get a dolo because he's not feeling well. Or maybe we can look at Allegra side effects. So this is the medication that you want to give to them. Once we come here, we click on administer medication. There are other details that I can add about the doses and notes and when was it done. He had fever, so he came to me and I'm just administering the medication now. And with this, the medication could be given to the student and can be logged within Orah, and it captures everything for this record. The timestamp, who gave was it given, what was the medicine, everything would be captured. Yeah, maybe some small error in here. So, but this could be taken care of. That's how I do a medication. That's how I give medicines to my students. Now, the similar process would be for a prescribed medication. Like if it's prescribed to receive any medicine in here, I can look at what options do I have available in here, what medicines are these, and all of these details. And I just click on administer medicine. Again, save my notes, click on administer medication, and boom, that's done. Does it look easier to capture all these details compared to what you currently do? Guys, you can use the chat to tell me your thoughts. Yes, I see a lot of yeses. This looks great, isn't it? Yeah, this is just the first version of it, but we love how easy it makes like the life of our users. So, Zoe, you know what? You've spoken about how easy it is to give medicines to someone, but what if I want to manage my inventory, manage the different medicines I have, and how do I add the prescriptions? No problem. Let's explore together. What do we do here? You know, when I'm scrolling my screen, I see something that says medication settings at the top right corner of my screen. Let's see what does it have here. Oh, here's the catalog. This is where a list of all my medicines are appearing. So I can go through them, and there's a filter for different types of medicine that I have. Is it an OTC or the prescribed medication that only prescribed only medicines that are available here? Let's add a medicine. So let's come here. We will call it, let's call this medicine. I can't think of anything as of now. I'm just going to call it Zito. I'm so sorry. The manufacturer, let's say, is Orah. What type of medicine it is? Yeah, this is prescribed only medicine. What is the unit? Is it like a liquid tablet? You have all these details that you run into on a daily basis, and you have to keep a record of this manually. We've kind of digitized that, so it's a lot simple for you to do that. Let's say this is a capsule. It's 2 mg. There's a description in here. This is used for cold and fever. Take with milk. You can have the dose restriction details and everything. All of these details that you normally capture, you can update that in here and save it. So this is how you can add medicines to your catalog, be it OTC or prescribed only medication. Once I've added and updated my catalog, I think this would also be a good thing for the schools, that you can include this as an instruction in your new school year handbook, that all your current medicines can be added to the catalog and update your catalog and be ready with that. Coming out of this, I have the dispensary view where I can see all the medicines that were logged and a record of everything in here. I can search by the student name or by the medicine name and use these available options to narrow down my search. If I go to prescription, this is where I see all the current active or pause prescriptions or prescribed only medicines that we have available in here. So let's say if I see there's this student here, I can open that student and I can see every detail that we've added about the prescription. Similarly, I can see any prescription that has been paused or deactivated, so on and so forth. And this is where I can also add a prescribed medication for a student. So now let's add something. I come here and say, we can add it to Adam Norton, Dr. Emily, how long the course is going to last. So this is going to go until the end of next month. What kind of medicine this is? Let's see if we have. So this is the details in here. I add all the details. I can also attach a file, a picture of the actual medication, and I can also restrict who's allowed to give this medicine. So if it is not the nurses, or it is a special medicine that can only be given by the chief nursing officer or someone, you can kind of restrict that as well. So let's say I come here and I say that I should be able to give that, and Peter should be able to give that, and then I save it. So this is how I will be adding prescriptions for my students. Next to that, I see the inventory. Now, all the OTC medicines that we have, this is where you'll be able to see how many of these are like kind of in stock. So I see a list of all those medicines and the available stocks as well. One thing to note here, since this is like the first version of medication that we've recently released, the medicines are kind of distributed based on different houses. So stocks are maintained based on different houses and dorms. So if you're a day school and if you don't use houses or dorms, do not worry about it. We can add all the students to a common house called schoolhouse, and you can still use medication. While we do that, we have also kind of requested our team to be able to add more features where we can kind of disconnect it from the houses. But if you have more like requests or feedback, feel free to kind of add about this. But more or less, this is what we have in the inventory. Zoe, can we also look at a student-specific record where I can see anything related to medication? You know what? Let's find that. I had the student called Alan Bruce. I will go to that student, open their profile, because that is where Orah captures all the records and every detail about any action that has been done on the student. Now I'm in the middle of nowhere, so it took some time, but in here I see medication. If I have an integration that is active with Magnus, I would be able to see that information coming in as well. But I can also see individual records. Okay, these are the prescriptions that are currently like active for the student, and all the administration, like a history of all the medicines that were administered to the student. So you would be able to see all of these records for each student as well. I love to go more about it, but to be honest with you, this is it. It's so simple. It's so easy that this is what we've done to kind of make life a lot easier with medication. Any questions that you guys have? Are very useful. Exactly, Paul. Thank you. Thanks a lot. That's an amazing feedback. Who has access to this screen? Can just believe it. You know what? Thank you. I just missed that. Let me just share that with you as well. So when you're on your Orah account, if you go to the admin console, and if you're an administrator, if you go to the staff section, you have different roles. That is what you use to manage permissions for different features as well. So let's say if I come here and we open any role that we have here, let's say supervisor. Within each role, you would have the ability to restrict what they can do with medication, which should be here. So is anyone in this role allowed to kind of manage medication catalog and settings? Are they allowed to manage inventory? So if segregate or like kind of dissected each of the possibilities or capabilities that would be there within medication, so you can assign that easily based on the different roles that we have available in here. Who has access? So this answer your question, Beth. Can the medicine be uploaded from Magnus? As of now, not. Isolene, like this is the first version of it, so we can pull in the allergies and conditions from Magnus. We can't upload, like we can't pull the medicines from Magnus. But yeah. So I think that's what we wanted to cover in terms of on Orah, but I'm more than happy to take more questions. Emily, did you want to add anything?
I was just going to add specifically, so in answering the question of who is able to see that medication tab on a student's profile, I believe it comes down to the manage student medical information setting within the medications.
Yeah. Also,
when is
Paul,
this module available? So it has been, or it should have been added to all of your accounts, and is kind of sitting in the background right now. So if you go to your admin console from an admin account, you'd be able to see the settings in staff user roles to be able to enable it for select people as you explore it and get things set up and test if it'll work in your scenario, in your environment.
Z, can you quickly show them through sharing your screen what that process looks like, just so they can see if it's enabled on the account?
Yep.
Oh, good to hear you have it, Jessica.
Okay. So all you've got to do is go to the admin console, and once you're here, go to the staff role. Let's say if I'm added as an administrator, my role is admin, I can open whatever role that I'm a part of. And if you scroll down the available features, you would be able to see medication as an individual like section. Within that, you have the different settings that you can enable. So if in here, I want to enable everything for myself, I'll just check all these boxes, come here, the top right corner says save. I do that, and I'll just refresh my browser. Once we do that, the settings should have been pushed to your account. The permissions should be open now. And to access medication, you simply would go to your student care section, click on that, and the last option you would see would be medication. Okay, let it load. Yeah, so I come to student care, I see medication, and this is where you would have the entire screen. Now, obviously, for you guys, you would not have anything under the dispensary or the prescriptions or the inventory because we're just getting started. So you just go to the medication setting and get access to your catalog and start adding your catalog and updating it for your school.
And just at a high level, the permissions in Orah are role-based. And so for medication management, we typically split things into a few groups. First, the staff who administer the meds, they can view the student's medication details and record administrations. Second, the supervisors and health center leads, they can also edit medication setup and review history for oversight. And then third is usually a more broader staff setup. In many schools, you either restrict them completely or give them view-only access if they need awareness, but shouldn't be recording anything. So I think the important point is not everyone needs access to everything. We can keep it tight so only right staff can see sensitive info and only authorized people can make changes, while still keeping an auditable record of every administration. And we can help you set that up based on your roles and the way that the permissions work.
Thank you, Grant. I think we have a couple of questions in the Q&A. I don't get only see pastoral, but not medication. Don, did you enable your role permissions to include all the features of medication? And also, hi, after a long time, Don. It's been a while that I actually spoke to you, so I hope you're doing good. Thank you. And we do have a couple of questions in the Q&A section, Emily. And so the first one is from Don. Is this version available on the app or just the desktop? I believe it's available on the desktop for now, and it should be available on the app soon. But as soon as it is released, we'll update you. But it's fully functional on the desktop for now. Will this work with the medication module from iSAMS by Mike? Mike, does it mean that will it automatically pull all your existing medication catalog that you have created in iSAMS and upload that in Orah? As of now, no. We don't have an integration working with any SIS. It's an independent feature that can be managed within Orah easily. Do we have plans for it? I would suggest that I'll take this feedback to our team. Or maybe we have something that Emily will introduce in a couple of minutes. You can add your feedback for us to kind of work on those features as well.
The one feature that I did want to touch base, since we have so many people on the call, we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Z had mentioned it briefly as he was going through, and that is the current ability to have stock isolated to houses. And is that something that would work on your campus and in terms of how you administer over the counter? And this is more so applied to schools with boarding populations. In exclusively day schools, we have a way to get around this, but for those with boarding populations and who are using houses in Orah, does that sound like it would work for you, having that over-the-counter inventory isolated to houses, or would you need another central over-the-counter inventory, let's say at a health center or another location? Keen to hear what your thoughts are. Okay, so isolated houses works best for some. Some would need a central. Okay. And for Katie, it said you need a central. Is that in addition to for houses? Our team is currently looking for the best solution, as this has been indicated as a limiting factor for some. And so it'll be helpful to help them get the information that they need. For other places, Dean's office. Okay, so having some flexibility in terms of where we can house inventory. That's really helpful to know. On the topic as you're exploring the medication module or any part of Orah really, I wanted to point out a new area that we have, and that if you haven't already discovered it, I hope you can go in and spend some time reviewing what's in there. If you could go just to the bottom of your screen. We have what we call Feature Base, which is a feature request portal, so that any of your requests can be input directly and they can be visible by others. They can be upvoted. So if you click the Orah logo in the bottom right-hand side, which you should be familiar with, it's also how you chat with our AI bot Finn and our support teammates, Ram and Pratik. And if you click suggest a feature, it brings you to Feature Base. And so here we can see a number of different feature requests that have been made by other users. And you have the ability to upvote those requests, click in to view more information, add comments if there's something you'd like to add. And so as you're exploring this medication module, being that it is a new module, of course, there's a lot of room for requests associated with it. And so I do encourage you to put them into the system or review what else is here so that you can have your voice heard as well in terms of feature requests. Any other questions related to this medication management module? Thank you so much for that positive feedback, Paul. We look forward to hearing how it goes for you. And if you have any questions beyond today, please let us know.
I see a question. How does this work for off-campus trips, sports, and weekends? For off-campus trips, sports, weekends, it usually comes down to making sure the right staff have access, and you've got a clear handoff process. So what you would do is assign the trip and sports staff or weekend duty staff the right permission so they can view the student meds and record the administration. Basically just a simple handoff workflow before the trip, confirming what's due, who's carrying and administrating, and any special instructions. So the big win is that everyone can see the same up-to-date medication history, so nothing relies on paper notes or someone's memory. So yes, you can totally manage that without any issues.
Also, I'll just take this time to answer Dan, who said that I'm late. It's absolutely fine. We're recording this session for you, Dan, so we can share the recording with you. You can watch that, share it with your team as well.
I see another one popped up. What's the audit trail? Can we see who administered what and when? Would you be able to show us that really quick?
So there are two ways that you can actually get into the audit or the history of these medications. Like you can do it at a student level or at a center level, like based on your house or the boarding house or the entire school. So if you're under Orah, the moment you see a student that you want to kind of investigate or you want to know about the history of the student's medication, you can type in the name of the student, open their profile. Right how we kind of capture everything, every record in here, when you open their profile, there would be a dedicated screen for medication where you would be able to see a history of everything that's been administered to that student. So let it load. I'm actually in the middle of a desert. That's why it's taking a bit long to do that, but that should tell you how excited we are as a team to kind of do this and talk about this feature. So when I come here, I see like, okay, this is like the prescription that the student has been assigned with, and I can kind of go through the entire details. When was it created? Who created that? Everything is listed in here. So that's one. Let's find a student that had some sort of medications administered. So I would go to Adam Norton because that's been a student that's been really sick. He comes every 2 hours to get some medicines. Let's wait. Okay, so I go to the medicine. Now here is a list of all the administered medicines, like the history of when was it done. So you have a timestamp of that. And when you click on each of these like medication history, it kind of gives you the details and a timestamp of who created this record, which was this medicine, when was it given. Everything would be listed in here for you. So that's on a student level. The other thing that we explored when we started, like under the student care, if you go to medication, you have dispensary that's clean, kind of captures everything for you. So now you have it on a central level or your dorm level. So you would be able to open any record directly from here, and you'd be able to see what this record was for and who logged it. So all the details would be captured in here. You can also use these available filters if you want to kind of narrow your approach to a specific dorm or a specific group of students, or it could be just, you just want to look at all the students that have received the medicines or that haven't received the medicine yet, if they're prescribed for one. So you can narrow down your selection based on that as well. Does that cover the question, Grant? Cool. Anything else? We have a couple of questions. We currently have the students to tie into go to various things on campus, like meals and health center. I do not manage their attendance at any, but I, as you know, was into honors at a very for med and student to tile and put the chat. Kenny, that's a nice concept, but I think for us, tiling in is used to update their location, and that can be used for attendance or just normal check-ins to the location. I don't think so there's a way that, or we have any plans to kind of use that location update to be able to open up the medication module. Thank you. Apologies, that's been covered as a complaint recognized school inspection bodies. Grandy, do we have information about school inspection bodies? Dan, would you mind kind of elaborating more on that question? Like if you're talking about any feature that we create, we are certified, like we have a security protocol that kind of aligns with the GDPR, HIPAA, and all the other certificates. So any feature that we create is within that boundary of those certificates. But if there's a specific inspection authority or something that you're looking for, we'll be more than happy to check it with our team and get back to you on that. There is another question in here. Ashwood School from Mike Hall. Thank you.
Just on that, Mike, I just logged in and I do see it on my end under student care. It's the last option for medications. It could be your browser issue. I know you said you refreshed a couple of times. Maybe try a different browser, but I can log in as yourself and see it. But if it's an issue after this, just shoot me an email, grant@orah.com, and I can help you out.
Okay, that helps. Any other question, guys, any other thought, feedback? You have the feature base now to add your feedback through that, but if you have any questions, feel free to kind of let us know. I think none. I'm leaving. Thank you for sure, Paul. Thanks a lot for attending the webinar and like sharing your feedback. It was really like helpful to know like you feel that way about the medication module, but we're excited for that.
All right, it looks like that might be it for questions. So look at that, ending a few minutes early today. Quick and to the point, we like it. So if there's anything that does come up after this time together, we would love to hear from you, and happy to help you get set up. Of course, there's the chat support in the bottom right-hand corner of your Orah account. Great place to start. Anything that can't be solved through there, there's a team of us happy to connect. Anything else to add, Grant, before we hop off today?
Nothing from my end. Thank you, everyone, so much for attending. Like Emily said, we are all here. We are always here to help you out. Finn is a great resource. We keep making improvements to our little AI friend. So you can start there or support@orah.com, and we'll be sure to get you all set up. And if you need some extra help going through this module, don't hesitate. We can jump on a quick call and help you. So that is it on our end. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.